Hello, welcome to another episode of this YouTube channel's videos. This is the Popcorn King. You're in the Popcorn Kingdom. You're all a bunch of popcorn royals. Right, so today I'm going to be doing a review of a little movie called All of Us Strangers. Not all of us are strangers, as I sometimes like to say, just all of us strangers. All of us strangers, all of us friends, all of us family. This film is directed by Andrew Hay and written by Andrew Hay, starring Andrew Scott and Paul Mescal, Jamie Bell and Claire Foy, and a couple of other little sort of cameo-y parts. What is it about? What is this movie about? It's about a writer living alone in a flat, starting some kind of relationship with a neighbor, a male neighbor. They're gay, which is great. The writer, I mean, it's kind of ambiguous in the film, but the writer, through some form, is able to communicate with his deceased parents in their sort of younger form, and he's able to speak to them. And yeah, that's kind of really what the movie is about. It's a very sad movie, and you can tell because there's lots of crying in it. And you know, if there's lots of crying in it, the director wants you to be sad. Sometimes that doesn't really work on me. Like, if it's a lot of like the actual characters being very emotional, I sort of fall back a little bit. I don't feel the emotion quite as much if they're feeling it too much, if you know what I mean. And that's not so much a comment on the performances as it is the writing. The performances are very good. Andrew Scott is a fine actor. Paul Mescal is a very, very good actor as well. And Jamie Bell, loved him since Billy Elliot. Claire Foy, loved her since The Crown. Andrew Scott, loved him since Sherlock. Paul Mescal, loved him since he's just slightly become famous recently. And he's rocking a great moustache, by the way. Paul Mescal is a very handsome man, and he's going to be in the new Gladiator film this year, so I assume he's going to blow up. Like, he's already he's in that semi-famous stage, right? Like, he's not quite reached A-list celebrity, but he's on everyone's radar. He's building up. He was in After Sun last year, which was really good. He's just a very handsome man, right? And he's not like a pretty boy, so to speak. He's got something about him. He's a bit rugged. And he's kind of if I was gay, maybe it would be that kind of gentleman, you know? Like, he's a very handsome guy, and he rocks a moustache. I kind of want to grow a moustache now, I have to say. So this film is filled to the brim with close-up shots with kind of like half blurry backgrounds. And I get it, that's a very beautiful type of shot, but the film is a little bit too many for my liking. Like, I feel like, damn, do these characters have full bodies? Like, all I can ever see is like part of their eye or something, like really, like, it never sort of zooms out, which I get. It's a very intimate story. It's a very close to the heart type of story. And it's got a very interesting premise. Like, what would you speak about if you were able to talk to your parents when they were young, when they were like new parents? Like, what would you say to them? What would you talk about with them? I'm somebody who's lost both my parents. So what I would give to just have some conversations with them, and that, you know, it really, this is one of those films that it's as good as what you bring to it yourself. Like, if you've got similar situations in your life, if you've got similar feelings and you bring it to this film can be incredibly sad. It would be very, very sad. And yeah, what I would give to just mundanely talk to my parents. You know, like, I would love to just have a very mundane conversation about the weather. Like, you know, would I be interested in what happens after death if I saw my parents? I'd be like, hey, I'm just curious, what happens when you die? Yeah, of course, but it's weird that if I saw my parents again, that wouldn't even be on my mind. I would just want to absorb the sort of mundane conversations that you have with family without ever feeling awkward. Like, you have those mundane conversations with other people, because it's awkward and because you don't know them, and so you start those, oh, weather, eh? Oh, do you see the game on the weekend? Like, you have those sort of conversations, and they're very mundane, they're very boring, and it just helps you get from A to B. You also have those conversations with your family, but it's not awkward at all. It just feels like home. It feels warm, and it feels lovely, and it feels recognizable. And what I would give to just talk about the weather with my mum or my dad. And that film really rips that kind of feeling out. Like, it's like, yeah, this is kind of very somber. It's a very somber film, and there's a real sense of isolation. Also, there is obviously a part of this film that I don't properly relate to, although I'm very empathetic and very sympathetic to the plight of homosexual people and what they have to go through in this world. And, it's not the same. Like, finding love for a homosexual person isn't the same as finding love for a straight person, because of the way society views them and the way society has previously sort of, beaten them over the head with, like, you're evil, which they're not. They're beautiful, normal humans. And so there is a part of this film which, I sympathize with, I empathize with, but I think is a very beautiful to see a homosexual relationship on screen sometimes. I guess if you're homosexual and you watch this film, you might even take more than I took from it. So, I really do recommend this film. I don't know how many times I'll rewatch this film. Probably never, if I'm honest with you, because like I say, it's kind of slow, very close-up shots with blurry backgrounds. I'm a little bit tired of it, so I'll probably, like, once is enough for me. It's a good film. I watched it once and I'm like, okay, that was great. Never going to watch that film again, probably, but I do recommend it. Go watch that film. I just want to see my mum and dad just one more time resurrected from the heavens, coming down, witnessing this miracle, and be like, nice weather today, isn't it?